What is up, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. And today's probably going to be a quick video, I'm not sure. But I really want to talk about this one thing, and that is Wonder Woman 84's failure in the box office. For months, I've known that Wonder Woman 84, if it got released during the pandemic era, it would have failed in the box office. I knew that for a certainty. I knew that for sure. But a lot of people now want to play stupid and say, oh, Wonder Woman 84 failed in the box office not because of a pandemic, but because people didn't like it. And look, I am someone who believes Wonder Woman 84 was a disappointment. I liked the movie, but it was a disappointment. It's in my bottom tier list on comic book movies. But I still liked it. I enjoyed it. But I still do think it was a disappointment overall. But I still am going to defend Wonder Woman 84 box office wise. I keep seeing channels say, oh, people didn't like Wonder Woman 84 because of politics and the movie itself. Nobody wants to see a feminist film or whatever. And to me, you're just playing stupid if you think that. Just admit it. It's a pandemic. And I know it disappointed. Like, I think it was expected to make 30 million worldwide in its opening weekend. But to me, those numbers were always impossible because you also got to understand there's so many theaters closed. So expect that. And not only that, but even in cities where theaters are open, people in those cities probably don't even know that theaters are open or even, want to go because there's still a pandemic. There's people who fear the pandemic, and that's completely fine. My local theater, there was no commercials. The only way I figured it out is because I Googled it one day when Tenet was coming out, and to make sure to know there was no commercials, there was no branding or anything. And I remember even going to the theaters and there was only like 5 people there. And I can't stand when people are like, Wonder Woman 84 failed because they try to be political, and this is proof that political films don't work. Or, to me, I did see some political takes on the movie, but it wasn't forced in. It was put in, like, just gently, softly. It was barely anything. And I know lots of people are going to use the excuse that Maxwell Lord they made Maxwell Lord too Trump-like. To me, I feel like they did take inspiration from Trump. But let's remind ourselves, remember, they sympathized the villain a lot. So I don't see what's the whole criticism on that. I mean, the ending of the movie isn't him getting killed or him, getting arrested. It's him hugging his son and emotionally, finally being the father that he should have been the whole time. And so I don't see this whole anger over. And I keep seeing channels say, look, Wonder Woman 84 did less than what we expected. Well, of course it was. The theaters in LA are closed. The theaters in New York are closed. The theaters in so many big places are closed. And then people want to use the excuse, oh, but China opened its theaters and it should have made more money over there. Well, the thing is, in China, lots of people still fear the pandemic. You cannot ignore that simple fact. People fear going into the theaters right now in China, because remember, that's where the virus started, and lots of people in China probably fear leaving their houses to go watch a movie. Lots of people don't even leave their houses unless it's for groceries or something important. Remind yourself of that. I went to a theater because I wanted to support the theatrical release, and where I'm from, there isn't that many cases, and so I did it. And I went ahead and I went and enjoyed this good film. And regardless of what you believe, whether you hate it or love the movie, one thing that is something we cannot disagree on is that the movie failed not because of political views, not because of the movie being bad, not because of this or not or that. The reason why it failed was because of a pandemic. Now, this movie was projected to make $1 billion in the box office if there was no pandemic. To me, that was never realistic because, especially now with these lower reviews, I would have expected at least 900 million. I don't think it would have made $1 billion, to be exact. Especially during a pandemic. There's no way a movie is going to make $1 billion during a pandemic. Or, let me get more specific. There's no way a movie could make $1 billion with all these theaters closed. And yeah, I don't understand the whole Wonder Woman 84 failed because it tried being too feminist. And to me, where was the feminism? I mean, I guess you saw some guys trying to sexually assault Barbara Minerva in a scene. But let's remind ourselves, there's like 3 characters who never came off as sexist. So I don't see why you only look at 2 examples and then say, yeah, look, they promoted sexism and all that. Honestly, that's my one big thing I don't like about film fans nowadays, is that they take every little thing and assume it's political. And even if it is political, what's the issue? It's like, don't you want the directors to give out their stories? It's like, give out these things. And a lot of people say that politics shouldn't be in movies. To me, I don't mind it if it is, as long as it's not forced. If you put it, I mean, movies are storytelling to the audience. They're ways to connect with the world. So it's like, what's the big issue if they add in something that's happening in the real world? I honestly enjoyed the movie, but I will still say it's a disappointment. I've made 2 whole videos where I mentioned that it's a disappointment to me, and actually technically 3, because in the 3rd video I did slightly mention it, but I still don't understand the whole, oh, Wonder Woman 84 failed because of feminism and all this and that. To me, you're just ignorant if you believe that. I don't care if you liked or didn't like the movie. One thing you have to agree on is that it happened because of a pandemic. I don't know how people can misinterpret that. It doesn't take a genius to see that. But some people just want to put their political views on everything, and it's annoying. I can't stand politics. And this and this and that. It's very frustrating. It's stupid to me, and I honestly don't understand why you have to mix both things in. It's like it failed because of the pandemic. It doesn't take a genius to know that. In fact, it made the most, like, during this pandemic era, it made the most money, which is expected because it's a big comic book film. But I didn't expect it to do any big numbers. In fact, I expected all the articles to say Wonder Woman 84 disappointment, but everyone wants to misinterpret it. I don't know how you guys can be this stupid. It's like, there's a pandemic still. There's a pandemic regardless of what we believe or not. There are people who don't want to go to the theaters because they fear. And then let's not forget that the movie was on HBO Max. And it's been proven that half the subscribers on HBO Max watched Wonder Woman 84. So you took out a massive chunk of people that were expected to go to the theaters. You take out the people who don't have access to the theaters right now because of the pandemic. You have people who fear going to the theaters because of the pandemic. And you also have HBO Max subscribers. That's you basically took away like a good 70% of the audience that way. So I don't know how people can be this dumb. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bells, smash that like button, comment down below your thoughts, and please go check out all my prior videos, because all I do here is talk about movies, movie talk, movie news, everything. And I occasionally do live streams. I did an entire Wonder Woman 84 spoiler discussion live stream. So if you're into that, I read comments in the live stream. If you're into that, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bells, and until next time, peace.